Hey guys, so today I'm going to be making a Counter Strafe guide. If you guys would like more, please subscribe. Also join my Discord in the description. I help people there pretty much daily, frequently throughout the day. I'll answer your questions. So if you have any questions and you want me to answer them directly, join my Discord. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Basically, Counter Strafing, this is what it looks like. So basically the point of Counter Strafing is going to be to throw your enemy's aim off whenever you're fighting someone. This is specifically good for like 1v1s, but you can also use it for like 1v whatevers. It doesn't really matter. Basically, so if you're fighting someone, actually we can show, I thought of this, you can show the strafe bots here, and you can see this is much harder to hit than if someone is just standing still, right? You could think of this as kind of like what you would look like when you're Counter Strafing. Although, of course, you're not just going to be moving around everywhere. So hopefully that's a little helpful to understand. But basically, there's the last video I made about Counter Strafing, people had a lot of questions, so I'm making another one. The main thing that you guys were asking is, should I let go of the key, or should I hit the opposite key? An opposite key would be, so like if I'm holding D, should I hit A to stop? Or if I'm holding A, should I hit D to stop? Vice versa. So actually, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys. If we hit D and then we hit the opposite key, which is A, this is what it looks like. Okay, so I stop. So if I go to the left and then I hit D, and then I stop, and then opposite key. So now I'm going to show you just letting go. So I'm holding D and then I'm going to let go. Let go. Now I'm going to hold A and let go. Let go. Let go. Let go. So my consensus about this is that there is absolutely no difference. Someone said it in the comments last time that there's like a few frame difference between the two, but this doesn't matter. This doesn't even matter likely in pro play, and you're probably a much lower rank than that anyway, so it really doesn't matter. No offense to you guys, but whenever I think about the rank distribution of people, I usually assume that most of you are like silver, gold, plat probably, with some of you being maybe diamond, immortal, and then some of you maybe being bronze. But yeah, if you're gold, which is probably the average rank, this doesn't matter. Just do what's most comfortable for you. And for me, I've always just let go because it's less to think about. If you have to hold two buttons at the same time, it's a little more to think about. But if you do find that easier, then go for it. So otherwise, you know, we're just doing this. So I'm gonna go show you guys some ways that we can practice this. We could do this, shoot the wall right here. So just kind of strafing like this. Try to hit the same point. You'll notice that whenever I'm going to the left, I'll put my crosshair to the right. And whenever I'm going to the right, I'm putting my crosshair to the left. Because when you move to the right, your crosshair also goes right. So you need to compensate for the movement to the right. And when you're going to the left, your crosshair goes to the left. So I move my crosshair to the right. Because if this is the enemy, this is how you want to do it, right? And you want to try to get the same point. Try to shoot the same point because usually you're going to be aiming for the enemy's head. So you want to try to shoot a small point because the enemy's head is a pretty small point. And you can strafe wider and strafe shorter. This will help throw off enemy's aim as well, because if you strafe once really wide and then you go like short, so if I go really wide and then short, it's going to throw them off. Try not to get bullets like that, because that means that you're moving. Yeah, someone also said that their counter strafing isn't working because their bullets are going up. That means you're moving like this. So what you need to do is make sure that you're standing still when you're shooting, right? Because if you're not standing still, then your bullets aren't going to be accurate. So if you didn't know that, just make sure you know that. So another way that I showed last time is also coming out here like this. So you're just kind of, you're basically just shooting, hitting a shot, and then strafing in between the shot. And this is going to be really, this is going to be a really good way to actually test or to practice for in-game, like what it'll feel like in-game whenever you're fighting people. Because, yeah, I don't know, it's just, you get a good feel for it. Make sure you're moving around as well, of course. You can also go wider strafes here or shorter strafes, but that's another way you can practice it. You can also test it on the bots here, but there's a few other things I want to say. So, someone asked me also, do I have to use the Vandal? No, you can use any weapon. Obviously, like, you know, counter strafing with the judge is going to have, it's not really going to be that useful for most scenarios. But yeah, so what we can do here is, instead of tapping, you can also double tap or burst. So kind of like this. You can also like triple or quad burst. Oops, don't do that. So obviously we don't really want to like spray, because if we just go like this, then we're already defeating the purpose of counter strafing. The purpose of counter strafing is to become difficult to shoot. If you think back to these bots that are moving around, that's what we're trying to become like. So if we just spray forever, then you know, spraying's fine in certain scenarios, but if you're taking a one-on-one fight where both of you guys see each other, it's very useful to, you know, go like this. It usually will take like just 2 or 3 strafes until you kill someone, unless your aim's really good. You only have to strafe like once, and then the strafe can just be used as insurance to make sure that you don't die. So you can, yeah, like I said, you can use other guns. Another thing that I thought of is whenever you strafe, you actually make noise, but you can strafe without making noise. So if you notice, I'm not gonna hold shift here, but you notice for a second if I walk, I'm not holding shift right now, I don't actually make noise. And this can be useful for clearing angles, because if you do this while shift walking, you go much slower. But if you don't hold shift, you see I'm actually really quick, and I'm not making noise. So you can even go farther without making noise. This is something that a lot of players in lower ranks don't know. So you can strafe like this. You don't have to hold shift when you do this, is kind of my point. But you can do it while making noise, because it doesn't matter if someone already sees you. But if you don't really want to make noise, this would usually be like, if you don't make noise, this is usually used for like clearing angles like this. Because if you're gonna shift walk and do this, obviously it's much slower, so you want to kind of just go like this. I think this might be a problem that a lot of people have when clearing things. They don't understand that you can do this. But yeah, this is kind of like a hybrid video of counter strafing and just like movement. But hopefully this is useful. Again, to recap, we can practice like this. Make sure that we're shooting toward the same point. Also, you can practice out here. We can practice on these bots. You can use any weapon. You don't have to hit the opposite key. This is what it looks like with the opposite key, and this is what it looks like letting go. It's pretty much identical to me, so I'm going to tell you guys that it is identical. Maybe minus a few frames, but it doesn't matter. So if you guys have any other questions about counter strafing or guide suggestions in the comments, please let me know, and I will see you guys in the next one.